The newborn little daughter lay quietly in a soft, warm swaddle, as if the world itself had wrapped her in gentle care. The two older sisters standing beside her had already lost all restraint. Curiosity sparkled brightly in their eyes as they leaned closer, unable to resist. "Little sis is so tiny. Feels like one punch could send her flying really far," Noah said in a rather serious tone. "Hey sis, don't scare the baby." Muen's gaze rested on the little infant as she added, "One punch might not be enough. It'd take two." Their innocent yet ridiculous conversation filled the air, but Leyon didn't react. He couldn't. His eyes were completely fixed on the newborn. From the moment he had seen her, his gaze had not moved even once. There was a softness in his eyes that had never appeared before, a quiet, overwhelming affection that seemed to flow endlessly. He carefully traced her features with his eyes, as though memorizing every detail. The tiny curve of her lips, the softness of her cheeks, the faint rise and fall of her breathing. And even though he already had two daughters, that didn't matter. Not even a little. His wife, standing nearby, noticed his expression instantly. A faint smile curved on her lips, knowing and slightly teasing. She tilted her head just a little, her tone light as she spoke. "But whatever happens, her mouth must not be as stubborn as yours." "Stubborn? Since when has my mouth ever been stubborn?" "Noah, Muen, Daddy is stubborn." The response came instantly, without hesitation, without mercy. Leyon froze. For a brief moment, he stood there completely exposed, caught off guard by his own daughters. A rare flicker of embarrassment crossed his face as he struggled to respond, but nothing convincing came out. "You two just don't understand." His voice was quiet, almost defensive, as he muttered under his breath. But the awkwardness didn't last long. The moment his eyes returned to the newborn, everything else faded again. The embarrassment disappeared as quickly as it had come, as he lowered his voice and whispered to her, trying to win her over before she could even speak. "You mustn't go along with them, okay? You'll definitely be on Daddy's side in the future, right?" It was a soft, harmless attempt, a quiet, hopeful little conspiracy, but the result was not what he expected. Almost immediately, the baby's expression shifted. Her clear eyes began to fill with tears, shimmering for just a second before spilling over. Her tiny face scrunched up slightly, and then she cried, loudly. Her soft but piercing cries filled the room. Leyon panicked instantly. The confidence he had just moments ago shattered completely. "Huh, why is she crying all of a sudden?" His voice carried genuine confusion, even a hint of helplessness. In contrast, his wife remained perfectly calm. She stepped forward without hesitation, her movements smooth and practiced. Gently, she lifted the baby into her arms, cradling her with effortless care. Her hand moved slowly along the child's back, soothing, steady, reassuring. There, baby, good. Don't cry. Don't cry." Her voice was soft, almost rhythmic, and gradually, the crying stopped. The baby's wails softened, then faded, until only quiet breathing remained. Peace returned to the room once more. She turned her gaze toward Leyon, who still stood stiffly in place. "Do you want to hold her?" The question caught him off guard. He hesitated immediately, his expression tightening. "I just came back from the battlefield. I still smell like blood. My aura is chaotic, and I'm covered in the smoke and hostility of war. If I frighten the baby, that would be bad. Come on, hold her." Her tone was gentle but firm. There was no pressure, only quiet encouragement. Leyon hesitated for a moment longer, then finally gave in. Okay." What followed was slow and careful. She guided him step by step, explaining every detail patiently, making sure he understood exactly what to do. "First, support the baby's neck, then use your other hand to support her bottom, and finally let her rest in the bend of your arm." Leyon followed her instructions with extreme caution. He held his breath unconsciously, afraid even the slightest mistake might hurt her. Every movement he made was stiff, controlled, almost overly careful. But eventually, the baby settled into his arms, and in that moment, something changed. The baby, who had just been crying moments ago, suddenly became quiet, completely quiet. She nestled gently against him, her small body relaxing as if she had found the safest place in the world. Her eyes slowly half closed. The tension in the room melted instantly. The two sisters stared in amazement. So amazing. As soon as Daddy held the baby, she stopped crying. A soft warmth filled the space again. His wife watched quietly, a gentle expression on her face. Whenever you cried and couldn't be soothed, I would place you beside your father, and very quickly, you'd stop crying. Muen tilted her head slightly, confused. She couldn't remember, but Noah, standing quietly nearby, seemed to understand something deeper. Maybe it's because Daddy gives people a sense of safety. Those simple words struck Leyon more deeply than expected. A warmth rose slowly in his chest. I used to hear Rosweiser talk about this. I never thought it was true. For the first time, he truly felt it. But the peaceful moment didn't last long. Noah suddenly lit up with excitement. "Oh, right, Mom, Dad. Little sister doesn't have a name yet, does she? Let's give little sister a name." My name comes from a homophone of Noah, the ancient hero of the dragon race. So little sis should have a hero's name too. Blazer, how about that? My name means moon, so little sis should be called Star. Glazer Star. The debate quickly escalated. Both sisters argued enthusiastically before turning toward Leyon at the same time. "Daddy, you be the judge." Leyon sighed lightly, smiling helplessly. Naming a child is a very important matter. Your mother and I thought about it for a long time before, and still couldn't decide." Then, with a hint of playfulness, "Do you two think your little sister looks more like Daddy or more like Mommy?" They leaned in again, studying carefully, but after a long pause, "We can't tell." A small smile appeared on Rosweiser's lips. "Of course you can't tell right after she's born, but you can look behind her. There's a surprise." Leyon glanced down and froze. The baby had a tail. "And look, it's pink. I really want to touch it. Damn it. My prenatal education plan didn't work after all." In the end, did the dragon race genes still take over? But a tail is a tail. If there's a fourth child in the future, I will definitely restore the glory of humanity. Huh? A fourth? What am I even thinking? How could that be possible? Then suddenly, a voice echoed through the hall. The grand doors crashed open with explosive force. A blazing, overwhelming aura swept through the hall like wildfire. The Red Dragon Queen, Isa Melvi, stormed in, tall and majestic, her dazzling red hair whipping behind her like flames. A murderous pressure radiated from her entire body. Isa said, "Bring her to me." She strode forward powerfully, but the moment her gaze landed on the tiny swaddle in Leyon's arms, everything changed. Her fierce expression melted instantly. The murderous aura vanished, replaced by pure adoration. Isa said, "Oh my, this little baby is far too lovable." Rosweiser Isa stepped closer, her eyes sparkling with delight. Isa said, "Come here, little one. Let Auntie Isa give you a kiss." She leaned in and gently kissed the baby's forehead. Isa said, "Look at that pink tail, so soft and perfect. When she grows up, it'll be just like mine." Noah and Muon both get excited and speak. "It's true, Aunt Isa." Isa cradled the baby lovingly, then looked at Leyon and Rosweiser with a mischievous grin. Isa teasing Leyon Jia Luo, brother-in-law. "Why so quiet?" She nuzzled the baby playfully. "Little darling, how about Auntie Isa takes you home to the Red Dragon clan? I won't get married. I won't have children. In 100 years, you'll be the next Red Dragon Queen." Leon's face drained of color in pure panic. Leyon said, "Big sister Isa." "Wait a moment." Isa burst into laughter and reluctantly handed the baby back to Rosweiser. Isa said, "Relax, Leyon. I was only joking. Look at you, so scared." The laughter died instantly. Isa's smile vanished. The playful auntie disappeared. In a heartbeat, the terrifying Red Dragon Queen returned, her aura exploding with overwhelming pressure, eyes sharp as blades. She locked onto Leyon like a predator. Isa, with curious gaze. "Now, let's talk business, brother-in-law." She leaned in, power crackling around her. "How exactly? Did you kill Constantine?"